Lay back, relax, enjoy it all. Saturday night, it's time to say no more. S&M with Tally and KRC. Come pleasure or pain, welcome to the stream.
And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to S&M. I'm Eve, and I have hair in my face. And this is Tally.
Hi! I moved! And we've got a guest today.
And hold on. I know you're excited. With us today, we have a very special guest, Mr. Snowpilot. How are you, Snow?
Hello. I'm doing good, thank you.
Okay, go
He
gush,
has been on our
Tally.
show.
Oh,
He
wait.
has been on our show more than anyone else, and he has never been an official guest, and today he is.
Hang on, we just got a donation at the same time you started talking, so give me a second. I gotta pull up the thing to read it. I'm sorry.
That's alright.
Oh my god, you guys. Because I didn't have the donation history pulled up. Thank you for the donation, Vanny127. He says, hello to the beautiful Eve, first time catching this live, not going to be able to stay. And hello to my future wife, the always exquisite Tally.
Hi.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Look, we've already established Tally's going to come over here and marry me for citizenship, okay? So... No, that's a joke we've been making about getting Tally over here, stateside, but
Got a year and a half now you've been making that joke?
We have been making that joke for like a year and a half now.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, with that said, Miss Talita, you were saying about your new place and how excited you are.
Yeah, I moved and I'm so excited. Right now I'm in my closet.
You're in the closet or your closet? Because
I was hoping somebody would make that joke that wasn't me.
As much as you flirt with me, Tally, it's not a secret.
Well, technically I don't actually have a closet, so this area here is just become my closet.
Oh, and we have a visitor, Miss Happy.
No.
Mama found her collar, so she's got her little thing on there. It's too tiny for y'all to see, which is why I'm holding it up. It has her name and my phone number on it, so it's a little pink heart.
Oh, it's so cute.
Hello,
it's the same tag that my cats have.
No, they're about the same size.
They are.
They're about the size of a little cat.
I think Annie could take them though.
Pat says you have to share, Eve. I mean, they don't have to share.
That wasn't written anywhere. I don't remember that line in the contract.
No. Maybe if you ask nicely, Pat. I'll send her down to Texas to visit you. now I sound like fucking pimp.
What is this? What is this? Split custody?
Right? Now I sound like a pimping Tally out. Oh my goodness. But anyways, yeah, no, Tally is very excited to be in the new place. Happy is very excited that I'm petting her right now. Everybody's just excited today. You know, it's gonna be a good day, I think.
Yeah, I discovered having both of the heaters in this room on makes it way too hot.
Yeah, I bet.
Normally a space heater like that would be rated to do an entire room, and you have 2 of them. And you don't live in Alaska, so... Question!
But but it's a very large room.
It's also a closed space.
It is. Sorry, I'm just melting over here. Just go on.
Would you like to introduce yourself at all, Mr. Snow, for those of you who are somehow not aware of
I think at this point I'm pretty well known, even amongst some of the new folks that have seen the VODs. I joined this wonderful little community. What?
When we
Late
first started.
2018?
Really?
Oh, you meant Eve's little community.
Yeah, because I remember because it's when you were streaming the game we don't talk about. I want to say that was
Holy shit!
Oh,
How long ago was Soma?
I want to say it was 2018 or 2019.
Jesus, I gotta go look now. My channel.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Like I caught you on like I found you on like episode 3 of VTM. And yeah, you've been stuck with me ever since. Like I joined the Discord a little bit later that year after playing Quiplash with you, Weibo, and Gunsky. That was hilarious.
Quiplash is always fun though.
Yeah, but the inside jokes with Gunsky's crowd are a little ridiculous.
Soma was
I
October
realized-
2019.
October 2019.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I want to say I was in around the Discord at that point because it wasn't long thereafter you started playing Subnautica, and I was your ringer.
Mm-hmm.
I now also have a furball.
I need to lose weight again. God, I'm sitting here looking at myself from the past and going, I was cute in 2019. I mean, I know I'm cute now, but I was skinny in 2019. Sorry.
All right, so who's gonna help me hold her down when we beat some sense into her?
I want to be skinny again. I will accept my 190 pounds again if I can get back down to it. You know, I'll just be happy there. Like, I was like, no, I gotta get down to like 170, 175. I was like, I think it was 170 was my goal. And I started teetering off around 190. Because I was doing good, but I'd really slowed down at that point. And then, alright, my arm's getting tired. No, ma'am.
You have no idea how
Man.
happy I am. My kitchen is big enough for me to get my hula hoop out and just I can use my hula hoop in the middle of the kitchen. It's great.
I'm more
That's what I was
concerned.
I'm worried about hula hooping in the kitchen because you move a little bit and something's going flying.
I'm more just thinking about the fact that Tally has a hula hoop.
No, there is that much open space that I can use my hula hoop in the middle of the kitchen.
Rick says I'm down, Snow. This is the greatest conversation to walk into, says Josh. Well, welcome into the stream. Tally is hula hooping, and
Oh, if I could find my hand pump, I would have been space hopping as well.
I'm
Happy's
sorry.
back here
what?
rubbing her face on the. Okay, and now
I
she's
have a
licking
space
her
hopper.
cooch. Okay,
Happy.
she's turned around so you can't see it, but that's what she's digging in. So,
Mm.
like dogs do. Anyway.
You should see cats. These two little ones, jeez.
The self, what did you call it? Cunnilingus would be
A little ridiculous.
the auto cunnilingus.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I do have a couple of articles to get into if you guys are ready to
Let's do this.
dive in
Yeah.
and be tortured
it.
a little bit by me.
So
Let's
this
do
is
it.
are we playing how long it takes for you to break my brain today? Is that what this is?
I'm gonna send you the whole list, Snow.
Oh,
But
no.
Tally gets the stories as we read them, because Tally doesn't know when to slow down. So Tally gets the
It's
first
true.
story. So I will share this like that. This is the only article I could find recently because this is something that's come back up lately. But
The Coca-Cola one.
Yeah.
yes. So if y'all remember, about a week or two ago, there was this whole thing of like Coca-Cola's like racial sensitivity training, and they were talking about
Be less white.
try to be less white and all this stuff. And everybody was kind of up in arms. This is a USA Today fact check of the Coca-Cola CEO did not insult customers who were launching the boycott. I pulled up this article because this refers to the boycott itself, and mentions it in a kind of a shorthanded way. After claims of the training being offered by Coca-Cola included a tip to quote be less white made headlines, some social media users are calling for a boycott of the beverage giant. Several Facebook users have also attributed a disparaging quote to Coca-Cola CEO James Quincy, alleging he responded to the boycott threat by saying, quote, a few right-wing nuts won't affect our bottom line. Cumulatively, those posts have racked up thousands of shares within just a few days.
As far as I'm concerned, people should just stop drinking Coca-Cola anyway because it tastes disgusting. It's very good at removing rust and cleaning the toilet.
Bad for you. It's bad for you. But that aside, okay, so after all of this and people being upset about that, and this very well-placed advertising towards me, stop it. I have enough Smashbox stuff. Stop it. We have what I just saw today, or with this yesterday, apparently this was a thing that's going around, but it's trending today. It says, if you spend your money on Coke, know that the Coca-Cola Company has donated $35,000 to voter suppression efforts in Georgia. Demonstrations happening Saturday. Do your body and soul some good. I think she meant good, but and boycott
Let's hope
Coke.
she meant.
And to go into this, basically they're being canceled on Twitter. I couldn't find an article about it because it's apparently still too new of a thing. But they're basically being canceled on Twitter for just now because they donated money to one thing and then they had the be less white thing, so
They're getting it from both sides.
they're getting it from both ends at this point, and it's not even a kinky porno, it's just sad.
Now the interesting thing is here, I saw Dr. Borisenko's video when she broke this, because this whole thing came about because Dr. Karlin Borisenko was tipped off by employees at Coca-Cola who sent her screenshots of this training video going, oh my God, what is this? The prime whistleblower on this is actually a black man who said, what the ever-loving hell are we being forced to watch here? There was a initial confirmation by Coca-Cola saying, yes, this was the training that we had offered, equally followed up by a retraction, and then mysteriously, a couple of days after that, the video training, which was posted on LinkedIn as part of their training section, their employee outreach thing, was removed after the culprit of this whole be less white thing, a wonderful, wonderful piece of work by the name of Robin DiAngelo, apparently got butthurt that an interview that she did with the creators of this video wasn't making her any money. And that's why LinkedIn took it down. She basically slapped him with a DMCA strike saying, this is my content. You didn't say you were going to be doing this.
Wow.
And they took it down. There are... I know you and I have had this discussion in the past, Eve, about the presence of evil in the world. This woman is genuinely evil. She is a unrepentant racist and a grifter extraordinaire. This woman has broken into the 1% in the last year.
Well, I mean, to say, I don't know if she's actually racist, like actually hates her race that much or whatever, but
no, she hates black people.
Oh, okay.
Like,
that would make more sense.
The first third of her book is confessing how she feels uncomfortable going to a company cookout and going, okay, do I hang out with the black folks over there or my white friends? That's who this woman is, and she is making bank preaching her book, which is just, if you are born white, you are born a racist. You will always be a racist, and the only way to assuage yourself of your white guilt is by throwing gobs of money at her through your employers who are paying. This woman will charge a couple $100,000 for a 1-hour training session.
Jesus.
Okay, she has made millions over the last year just by preaching race hatred. And people are eating this up.
You ever notice
So-
that the people that complain the most about the racist are in fact
Are
the
they actual?
racist?
Yeah. But anyway, so Dr. Borisenko broke it. The story
Wasn't there
went.
someone that said a few years ago? I'm trying to think who it was. Not by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. Who
I
was
do remember that
again?
gentleman. I do remember that. He took a bullet for his beliefs too, didn't he?
Yes, he was shot by a
Wow.
racist.
Yeah.
A Democrat.
So yeah. So
he was shot, funnily enough, by a Democrat.
well,
Are y'all good? Are y'all good?
are you okay there, Tal? You good?
Yeah.
You too.
Well, but so the funny thing about this boycott thing, getting back to the original story, is Dr. Borisenko's entire thing with her videos was, don't go after Coca-Cola for this. Go after LinkedIn for even hosting a training video like this in the first place.
Get off my pillow. Sorry, this little fuzzy hoe
So-
thinks she gonna climb my pillow. Yeah, lay your ass down. Get off my pillow.
Well,
Her
I don't
little
buy
butt.
Coca-Cola, and if I do, it goes with the rest of the cleaners under the kitchen sink.
Young lady, can't you tell I'm bit?
You can't hate me, I'm
But
cute.
Mom, I love you.
She goes, I can't stay mad at her.
So
But yeah, there's just like, so Twitter is just lit up with hashtag boycott Coke. They're going to town, really just tearing them a new asshole because they I tried to find the source of it, couldn't, and this is why I sent you that image, Snow. It was an image showing all of the subsidiaries that Coca-Cola has. Excuse me. Didn't get Discord muted because Discord's not working. Why aren't you working? Anyway. Dog, I think you're making me sneeze. Whatever it is, it's on you. I love you. Go lay down.
thing.
Yeah, so
There's the image.
that's the image I showed you. So,
Y'all want to be terrified at something.
yeah, no, I mean, just think
See,
about
I
that.
have no idea what image they're talking about.
All of these brands, I'll send it to you, Tally. All of those brands are owned by a handful of companies. Like, they're all subsidiaries of subsidiaries of subsidiaries, and all of those brands are actually owned by all those. Nestle has a metric fuck ton.
Coca-Cola, if you want to boycott Coca-Cola, you don't just boycott Coca-Cola. You also boycott Fanta, Sprite.
There are some better images
I've
that we just passed by.
never even heard of half of these.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Not all of these companies will appear near you, but this is
That one.
this when people talk about corporate overlords, this is what they're talking about when you have. Okay, just say look at Kellogg's, all right? That's one of the smallest pieces here. Even Coca-Cola is a very small slice of the pie.
Yeah,
And there's
Coca-Cola is
still
the smallest
dozens of wholly or partially owned subsidiaries underneath these. This is what goes.
Coca-Cola owns 1, 2,
And
3,
they're
4,
out there,
5, 6,
they're out
7,
there
8, 9,
protesting
10,
this
11,
today. They're outside of the Coca-Cola headquarters in
15,
Georgia
16,
protesting
17.
today.
Coca-Cola owns 19 companies.
So
And
it's,
they are the smallest slice of the pie.
damn it, that's just the restaurants. I don't want to see the restaurants serving Coca-Cola. I want to see There was a list I saw earlier. It was a close-up version of what all of them were. I have to scroll down a bit to find it. No.
Now the really fun thing is that you said they were protesting this because Coke donated what, 35 grand?
There it is. Yeah, 35 grand.
30. That's a used BMW that they donated.
Out of millions.
But all of
Out of-
these are just
Jesus.
some of the brands that Coca-Cola has. Coca-Cola, Sprite, Fanta, Diet Coke, obviously, Dasani, Minute Maid, CL, Powerade, Simply Orange, Coca-Cola Light, Fresca, Vitamin Water, Honest Tea, Burn, Fuse Tea, Fuse, Mellow Yellow, Smart Water. I don't know what this one is. Diavale?
See, I've
NOS
never
Energy
heard
Drinks.
of these companies.
Powerade Zero. That's just the ones that are like obvious. There are other things that Coca-Cola has their mitts in as well. That's not even a whole list. Like, it's insane. I refer back to that other image. It's insane how many of these brands that we all know are owned by others. Like, did you guys know that PepsiCo owns Cheetos? Or Doritos, for that matter?
You see what Frito-Lay owns.
Nestle owns Gerber. You know,
I've never heard of that company either.
Gerber's a baby food company.
Oh.
Pretty prominent here in the States. Let me actually pop back in the chat. I want that picture.
It's the amount of money that they're up in arms about is just, come on. But then you could donate $1 to something and somebody would get annoyed at it.
There you go, Josh. I DM'd it to you on Discord.
Compared to the millions of the amount of money that Coca-Cola actually has, them donating 35 grand to voter suppression
is nothing.
That's the thing to me. It's not. They said they donated it because to voter suppression, and I haven't figured out exactly where that money went. I thought I had another article and I lost it. I'm a little frustrated with myself because I had a longer article that broke everything down.
Yeah, if you want to affect Coca-Cola's bottom line, what I'm getting from all this is basically don't just boycott Coca-Cola. You want to boycott every company Coca-Cola owns.
Not just what Coca-Cola owns, is what they're partnered with, because you will have agreements like every time you go to McDonald's and you get a Coke or a Sprite at McDonald's, Coke gets a piece of that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
even though it's basically just flavored syrup with soda water.
Yeah, you'd be amazed. Restaurants make tons of money off of carbonated beverages. They sell it to you for like $2, and they honestly pay anywhere from 10 to 20 cents a glass.
Well, yeah, and the reason for that is because it is mostly soda water. It's just got flavored syrup in it.
Because there's those boxes of soda water, between what they pay for the soda water and what they pay for the syrup, that they mix it all together and then you just put it through a machine that just swirls it up and shoots out some Coke.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
I should tell you something.
The days when you could boycott a company and you would actually hurt that company, long gone. Long gone.
Okay, so they donated 35K to Georgia state lawmakers who are actively trying to suppress the black vote. So basically Republican lawmakers is what they're saying.
Yeah, except if it's
this
the effort
the
I
whole
was
thing of saying voter ID is racist, isn't it?
It's not even voter ID. It's undoing all of the things that caused the shenanigans in Georgia in the last election, that raised all of these doubts. Things like extending deadlines by not going through the legislative process,
Pulling vote ballots out from under tables. And
Well,
being caught
that
on camera doing
you
it.
gotta be careful, Tally, because we are on the YouTubes, and Susan is band happy here.
Tally, you need to be more careful because we can see your camera.
No, you can't.
Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna be showing that part of myself. It's fine, Eve.
Leans back.
Leans
scoots
back in
chair.
the chair. Come on. I told you to lift your camera up and look a little bit.
Mhm.
I just look over and I'm seeing your skirt.
There we go. No.
Don't worry, nobody has replay on this, and I'll make sure that that's edited before anything goes up. Nobody saw anything,
what
but still.
What you're seeing isn't actually my underwear. It's the black line.
That's fine, but it's still.
It's still. You know we got some thirsty motherfuckers in chat.
I've had to edit Tally's wardrobe malfunctions out more than once, kids.
I thought that was only the one.
I'm pretty sure there was a nip slip or something. There was a nip slip early days. I had to go back and edit that out too.
Or
You won't find it anywhere anymore, kids. Nobody go looking. You're wasting your time. I already edited it out, but
it was very close to a nip slip. It wasn't an actual one because you just.
Oh, I know what else I had to edit out. My mother's accidental thing. That's what I was thinking of too.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't you. That was you.
I wasn't here for that one, thank God.
Did your choker break?
I think so. I'm so sorry, Snow. I don't know where the charm went.
Uh-oh.
It's in our cleavage.
Probably.
There it is. Got it.
Got it?
I'll have to fix it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
The chain just popped.
I told you it looked fine when it was loose.
Oh, it was looser.
One of the jump rings probably just came loose. That's fine. You get a pair just a pair of pliers will fix that. Okay.
So yeah, I'll just be bare necked for now.
Oh no.
Oh no. Anyway. Yeah, no, so it's just like, to me, it's just a gigantic sign of, on one hand, they're donating money to conservative lawmakers, and on the other hand, they're sitting there trying to tell their employees to be less white, and it's like, it's kind of a mixed message, don't you think, Coca-Cola? Oh, is it because maybe, just maybe, you don't actually care about any of this shit? You're just in it for the money.
Well, yeah, you can tell it's just virtual signaling because you look at that board of directors and the people are actually in charge of Coca-Cola, and out of like the 12 of them, one of them is not white.
Yeah.
It's all about it's all about public image. It's all about how you appear in advertising. It's how you can sell yourself, and if you think, even on places like YouTube, right? We've had 2 adpocalypses now. If you think it's because companies genuinely care about this, you're out of your mind. It's they don't want the controversy. They don't want to be within 100 miles of it. But what you're seeing with Coca-Cola here is the extreme end of that, where they go out of their way to try to fix what they think might cause controversy, and in so doing, cause controversy themselves.
Yeah.
See, if they did nothing and kept their mouths shut and just didn't give a shit about this sort of thing, no one would be boycotting them.
Nope.
All they had to do was not say anything and not do anything.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, you need to see this. My face is really cracked at some of the names on this list. I'm sad in my heart. No more Diet Coke for me. Small price to pay to keep our democracy intact, please.
God in heaven.
If there is a God, he's abandoned us.
We switched to Pepsi. Yeah, that's not... You haven't improved the situation.
No, because they fail to realize they're so ignorant. They think this is a move based on political beliefs. This is not a move based on... It's a move based on money.
What
Yeah.
these companies fail to realize is that the people screeching the most about racism and the bleed less white people, they are a fraction of the population. And basically, what they've done is they've ostracized the largest amount of their customer
Well,
base as they possibly could for a very small minority of people who are racist.
hang on. I just noticed something as you were scrolling through the Twitter there. The best part about this is it's not $35,000 for this effort. No. It's $35,000 in campaign contributions since 2018.
Oh, that's nothing.
Since 28. So for $35,000 over the course of two and
all
a
right,
half years.
Yeah.
Do you know what? All right. Do you know
Yeah.
companies? They have a name for cash like that sort of amount of money.
Yeah,
It's
it's
called
petty cash. Yeah.
Like
It's
like my when I was funnily enough, this house that I'm living in, it used to be the office that I used to work in, and it's been converted into a house now. I was in the office next door, like where my living room was my office, and we used to have petty cash, and we would use that for stuff for like tea, coffee, stuff like that, and that's for a company the size of Coca-Cola, that amount of money is just petty cash.
that's
It's
what
nothing.
somebody that's what
That would
somebody left
basically be the
behind.
penny jar that you see in.
Yeah, that's what somebody left. That's what fell out of somebody's wallet in the cab.
Hey,
People
Coca-Cola,
want to.
listen up. I have a really bad opinion of you and a really long memory. When I boycott something, it's forever. And they tweeted out with this image. Dear corporate America, donations to Republicans are now considered support for domestic terrorism. Choose wisely.
No, they're not.
I
find it amusing the fact that people are calling Republicans domestic terrorists because of the shit that went down on the 6th of January. But how long did the riots in all of these Democrat-run cities go?
Portland is still going on. This past week they broke out the last of the unboarded up windows in the courthouse in downtown.
But that's not domestic terrorism at all.
No, matter of fact, according to Judge Merrick Garland, who is our president's nominee to be Attorney General, he doesn't consider it domestic terrorism because it happened mostly at night and there were no proceedings happening in the courthouse at the time.
Well, domestic terrorism isn't just a violent act. It is a violent act to encourage political change.
Mhm.
And yes, what these people at the Capitol building did was wrong. However, you have the right to peacefully protest. You do not, however, have the right to burn down entire city blocks.
It's anyway. What else you got there, Eve? Because this is just
on,
holy
we're just
God.
gonna sit here and go in circles.
Yeah.
What should I give y'all next? What did I send? Let me see what I sent Snow.
Ow. Oh.
None of that.
What did you
I don't
do?
See any
Smoke in my eye.
Ow. What did I send you next? Oh yeah. I'm actually gonna skip around a little bit. We're gonna do
That's fine.
The
See, I'm willing to bet she sent you them all. She's sending me them one at a time.
one at a time.
She-
So that's
she-
gonna be our
she flat
next
out
one,
said-
Tally. I said that already.
Yeah.
For our next article or next thought to talk about, we're gonna talk about this Texas schools chivalry assignment told girls to dress to please men, and I would like to thank Travis Gardner for sending me this over on Twitter. He DMs me interesting articles and stuff, which, by the way, also brings up another point that I wanted to make. Last week after the show, we were sitting there discussing, and we came up with the idea that if there are articles or things that you want to share with us, you can tweet them to us on Twitter using the hashtag SNM News. So I put it down in the description as well, so you can copy it from there. Just hashtag SNM News. I looked it up. It has not been used for like 7 years now. Was the last time 6 or 7 years ago? Last time someone used that hashtag. So it's all ours. We're commandeering it.
It was used once in 2018.
Oh, was it used once in 2018? Okay.
Yeah. It was used a couple of times in 2016, and then it was used once in 2018
Most of the ones I saw were from 2014.
So now it's our hashtag. It's
ours now. We're taking it over. So yeah, if you do want to share anything with us, just like Rick typed it in chat there, S&M News, just send it to us on Twitter, and we'll be able to. I'll check the hashtag before we start the show, so that way we'll have articles on hand. If there's something you want us to talk about that you say, hey, even Tally might like to talk about this or might like to know about this, we'd be happy for anything you did want to share with us.
Yes, please do use that hashtag, and we will see it.
But with that said, yes, just like that, Kefki, S&M News. With that said, you can also share them to our Discord. There is also a link in the description for that. We have news articles, channels, and stuff over there, whether it's political, whether it's science or whatever, just something you find interesting. You want to talk about.
Think at some point we should just set up a channel where people can just share things that they want us to see, rather than having it all over the place, like political stuff here. If you just want us to talk about it on the show, you could just share it in one channel. We'll fix that.
Yeah. But anyway, Texas school's chivalry assignment told girls to dress to please men. This was a little tone deaf.
Although reading the first paragraph, it doesn't say dress to please men. It says dress in a feminine manner, which technically isn't dressing to please men.
But the rest of it is, which actually makes no sense because chivalry. Let's get this out of the way right now. Chivalry has nothing to do with women. Zero to do with women. Chivalry codes covered like combat rules for two gentlemen fighting.
Basically, the whole thing with chivalry was a knight would never target a woman.
That was pretty much the only thing about women in there.
It was.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
A lot of these rules that people have a problem with, they were rules to keep men from going nuts. Like,
basically.
Yes, the rules for combat. Men were expected to admire courtly ladies from afar, not be all up in their face.
And this assignment has nothing to do with chivalry.
No.
So, I just wanted to point out this little bit of dumb. A quote chivalry assignment given to students at Shallow-Water High School in Texas instructed girls to quote dress in a feminine manner to please men. Quote, walk behind them daintily as if their feet were bound, and, quote, not complain or whine. The assignment was shared in a private Facebook group, according to CBS affiliate, everythinglubbock.com. A photo of the assignment was also tweeted by local journalist Brandy D. Addison.
I don't think this was a real assignment.
This can't be a real thing.
Frisco City writer for the Dallas Morning News. I mean, it made it to the school, so...
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it came from the school.
I'm getting to that. Assignment asks girls to and there's a photo of the rules for chivalry. This was the thing they sent to them. The ladies in blank class will demonstrate to the school how the code of chivalry and standards set in medieval concept of courtly love carries on to the modern day. The ladies in the class will follow the rules of Chivalry Day. All ladies deemed worthy of honor by gentlemen will receive 10 points for every signature at the end of the day. Fathers and other adult males may insist on following the rules into the evening. and may report to the judges on these matters. I understand the intent. I understand it was like, this is what it was like back then.
Except it wasn't.
It was a
it wasn't.
history assignment then.
It was supposed to be a history assignment, basically. But it was really fucking tone deaf. Like, holy cow.
Such an insult to tone deaf. Jesus.
Like you said, the code of chivalry, it was not. Like, women didn't follow the code of chivalry. It was a men thing.
Yeah. So the assignment asked girls to, quote, demonstrate to the school how the code of chivalry and standards set in medieval concept of courtly love carries on to the modern day. A set of, quote, rules was listed. The line for a, quote, adult witness signature to each. The assignment said, quote, all ladies deemed worthy of honor by gentlemen would get 10 points for every witness signature. The list states, quote, all ladies must address all men respectfully by title with a lowered head and a curtsy. And ladies must never criticize a male. It also says ladies must not initiate conversations with males or, quote, show intellectual superiority outside of the classroom. If it would, quote, if it would offend men or offend the men around them. It also says they must cook for the, quote, gentlemen in their class and should clean up after the men. Ladies,
but that, again, that's not the code of chivalry, because
I know.
the code of chivalry was for men. That was just the way.
You're stuck there, Tally. We're moved on past that. Ladies must obey any reasonable request of a male. If not sure if it's considered reasonable, ladies can check with their teachers. One of the rules reads.
Well, if you're not sure if it's reasonable, you can just say no.
What the?
Someone in the Facebook private group where the assignment was shared said that there was also an assignment for boys, instructed them to, quote, have manners towards the ladies and treat them politely in some situations, quote.
No. The code of chivalry was that you would treat a woman politely in every situation, except when she was rude or impolite to you.
And even then, you still treat her with kid gloves.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You
treat her with kid gloves, but you would still be somewhat polite.
In a statement to CBS News, the public relations director for Shallowater High School said, quote, this assignment has been reviewed, and despite its historical context, it does not reflect our district and community values. The matter has been addressed with the teacher, and the assignment was removed. Parents in the private Facebook group said the assignment was replaced after complaints. EverythingLubbock.com reports, but it has already received widespread attention on Twitter, with many criticizing the assignment. Well, no fucking shit.
Yeah, but really.
It just... I just wonder what idiot was tone deaf enough to do this. I get the point.
All right, what they were trying to do was they were trying to get the boys and the girls within the class to act the way people did in medieval times, so that they could live that way during school hours.
Yeah,
and failed miserably.
Miserably. I mean, this is like the equivalent. They're trying to equate it to, like, hey, this is how they made bread during the medieval times. So let's go through the process of collecting the wheat and grinding it up and making the flour, and then, you know, making some bread. Hey, that's cool. This doesn't work that way. You don't put them you could have them read about it and then, like, maybe do some role play skits there in the classroom of how this would play out in certain situations. But you also, especially in the current climate, need to be very heavy-handed with this is not how we treat people outside of the classroom. Do you understand? This is not how this goes in real life anymore.
If they really wanted to do this, quote, in its historical context, which is hilarious, I want to talk to the school administrator and possibly hit them over the head with a rolled-up newspaper. What you would see, okay, picture in your mind, if you will, they actually do this correctly. All of the boys, whenever a female approached from the opposite direction, would get out of her way, bow his head, until she passed and then continue along his way. He would respond to every single statement from a female teacher or administrator with, "Yes, my lady." Completely deferential. Not this.
I feel like the teacher didn't know what the hell they were doing.
They
You-
didn't.
you
They
know
had
what?
no freaking idea.
What I find most amazing about this is that they are taking this as if it's a bad thing for women. However, women were treated with a lot of respect in the Middle Ages. Yeah, they were seen as below a man, but they were treated with more respect than a man.
But noble rank also applied, so you could,
Yes.
So again, what this looks like, and you see this a lot of times with, I don't know if I can say this, with a lot of the more uppity feminist teachers. They take a historical concept and completely misunderstand it, completely misconstrue it. This sounds like some idiot feminist teacher said, "Let's show exactly how bad chivalry can be," and put this out there.
They took it to the extreme.
They took it and tossed it out the window and made up their own. They thought this is what is in somebody's mind of what they imagined chivalry was.
Assassin says, boys must now train with the lance and sword and horse so that they may answer the king's call to war against France.
Yes, and all low-born boys shall train at the butts on Sunday for 2 hours, a minimum, after church.
I think we could all agree this was just very...
While the ladies learnt needlepoint.
Yeah.
This was just very, very tone deaf, very silly, and somebody needs their butt spanked for that one. That one should...
Just what?
That one was just ridiculous.
Oh no!
Now on to we got another article after this, one that I think Snow is going to really enjoy.
If it's the one I saw, I think yes.
Yeah, I organized them backwards because I wanted to do a little more before I give you a little. I wanted to give you a little more work before we give you a treat. So I'm going to send this one to Tally. And let her take a look at that for half a second while I swap over to this.
I can. European visitors are important.
What?
Yeah, they're not gonna. I need a VPN to actually see.
Are you serious?
Seriously,
Huh?
I can't see it. I can't see it.
Are you fucking serious?
Seriously.
Eve, they don't want the subjects understanding what freedom really is. They don't want them getting any ideas.
All right, I'll read it out to you, Tally.
Okay.
If that helps. There's nothing to really see. There's no photos.
I can see the title, and just looking at the title, I'm like,
Her eyes were weird.
yes.
Anyway,
This is all. Like, I see this as a good thing.
I say it's a double-edged sword, honestly. But we're getting to the article. Tennessee permitless carry bill clears another committee. For those of you who don't know, well, I'll read it, it'll explain. Nashville, Tennessee. A bill that would allow Tennesseans to carry a handgun without a carry permit has cleared another hurdle in the General Assembly. House Bill 786 by Representative William Lamberth would change state law so that persons 21 years and older would be allowed to carry as long as they are lawfully in possession of a gun and are in a place where they have a right to be.
That means felons cannot own a gun, but that doesn't matter because felons can't own a gun anyway.
The House Criminal Justice Committee advanced the amended legislation on Wednesday. All four of the committee's Democratic members voted against the bill. Of course they did. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and Tennessee Sheriff's Association opposed the bill. Republican Governor Bill Lee has pushed for allowing Tennesseans 21 and older to carry a handgun without a permit. The Senate version of the bill is set to appear in the Senate Finance, Ways, and Means Committee next Tuesday. It cleared the Senate Judiciary Committee last week, so it's already made it through halfway through the process, and this was 3 days ago. So what was that?
I see this as a win.
That was Wednesday. So the following Tuesday is when it's going to the committee.
See, I see this as a good thing for law-abiding citizens.
I do, to an extent. I mean, it's not a permit to own; it's a permit to carry. And then,
well, if you
I
can
have an
lawfully
issue
own...
with cutting out the
Alec.
safety. I have an issue to me. The only part I really have an issue with is that they're cutting out safety regulations here. So you don't have to be taught how to safely own a firearm before you're allowed to own a firearm. It's not about, well, you can't own it
Now,
until you
see,
jump through 20,000 hoops.
As far as
It's
I'm
just...
concerned, if you are going to
Hang
own
on.
a gun, you have a duty to know how to use that firearm safely.
Hang
That is
on.
a duty that you have as a lawful firearm owning individual. Taking away the permit is basically saying, if you can lawfully own this firearm, who are we to say that you cannot carry this firearm out with you? And I see that as a good thing.
Yeah. I'm okay with ownership at, pretty much. I honestly don't think it should be...
Now, see, personally, if I was an American, I would have a concealed carry, and I would be carrying that thing everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. This would probably do away with concealed carry laws as well.
That's what this is.
I know the TBI apparently has opposed it. I didn't. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, basically like the state investigative bureau, is opposed to it. And from a law enforcement perspective, I could see why you don't. You have less things to pin on someone, and you have more likely that somebody could be concealing a firearm. So.
But you've got to remember, this is not for criminals. This is for law-abiding citizens. Criminals don't give a shit about the law. That's why they're criminals.
I understand that, and I'm aware of it. But anything, to me, it makes it more... It makes it more...
Okay, so I just pulled up what is currently on the books to conceal carry in the state of Tennessee. For a regular handgun permit, which allows concealed carry, there's no training requirement already.
For concealed carry?
For concealed carry. The enhanced permit, which allows you to carry in more places, does have an 8-hour training requirement.
But the thing is, if you require permits, and part of the requirement for a permit is training, it's not the government that pays for this training, it's the individual.
Well, no offense, Tally, but if it was the government paying for it, we'd still be paying for it because it's our tax dollars paying for it.
Yeah, I know, but...
In that case, I'd rather it be me paying for something that I'm going to use than paying the government who's going to turn around and use it to fund everybody else's stuff.
Yes, and I understand that. I understand that. And see, as far as I'm concerned, people are obligated. They have a duty to know how to use that firearm safely. However, putting a requirement that you require so many hours of training, it basically sets a barrier for people that are very low income, cannot own a firearm. Basically, what you're doing is you're making it a privilege.
If a small course like that is which those courses aren't super expensive.
Yes, they are.
They are?
They can be, yeah. Absolutely, they
Just
can
to
be.
get, certification.
When I got my Utah permit, for those of you who don't understand, there are two permits in the state in the United States that people will get even if they don't live in these states. One is Florida, one is Utah. And it's because those two states have the maximum reciprocity agreements in the country. Florida gets you a couple extras that Utah doesn't, but Florida requires a live fire session just to demonstrate proficiency with the firearm. The course that I took...
take into account is shooting as a perishable skill.
Tally, hang on.
Let him finish, Tally.
So
sorry, go on.
The non-resident Utah permit class that I took was $125.
But that's my point. If it's
And how many hours was that?
$125, is the bar from you being able to
But-
carry a firearm?
But hang on, how many hours was it?
That was a 3-hour class.
Exactly. So you would have to do another 3. You would have to do 3 of those classes in order to have the second
Well,
permit.
that was
in Tennessee. That's
classroom
the
only.
extreme. Like you can carry this to extra places. Perfect.
Right.
But my point is, if $125 is the bar, you can't afford a firearm anyways, because those things are minimum like $300 if you're buying a cheap ass gun.
Well, a cheap ass gun can be anything from $200 to $500. Then, like, let's say someone that was in the situation that I was in when I was a single mother living on my own, baby. Let's say I wasn't living in a nice middle class town. I was living in, let's say, somewhere like Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say I wanted a firearm to protect me and my baby. If I had to pay for the gun, and then I had to pay for the course, rather than just going to the firing range and showing proficiency and getting help from the people that work in the firing range and all that sort of thing. If I had to then pay for this course, I wouldn't have been able to buy a gun to protect me and my son.
Well, that's
that's not true. That's not true, Tally. Because there isn't a state in the union, even though they've tried more than once, that says you have to complete a concealed carry course in order to have a firearm in your house for self-defense in your house.
Yet, which is why I say to everyone, write to your representative and tell them that if they if they vote for HR 127, that they will lose their position as your representative, because in that bill, they are actually making it so that you have to pay tax on the gun. It's like $200 tax on the gun. Then it's an extra $100 for every magazine you have. Then there's the 24 hours course that you have to take. And then there's all of these other things that you've got to pay for before just to buy a $300 gun.
No.
That seriously, that's what's in this bill. I'm telling you.
That's a no for me. I know I did see something about that one, and I wasn't. I didn't want to focus on that one. I wanted to focus on the
bill is the bill of that. The name of that bill is HR 127.
HACA. Oh, sorry. You meant HR 127.
Yep.
I would agree that bill is just way too far over the line. That
bill was the reason a few of the states said that they were going to become Second Amendment sanctuary states.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that also requires an $800 personal liability insurance premium every year.
Yeah. So
for the first 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start off with a $300 gun. Then you've got to pay the $200 tax. Then you've got to pay the $100 for every magazine that you've got.
You got at least 3.
And then you've got to pay the most guns come with 2. Then you've got to pay the $800 liability insurance. And then you've got to pay for the 24 hours training course.
And you have to find the training course first. And this was a big thing when DC brought in their concealed carry permit after they were ordered to by the Supreme Court. They were very clever because there are no firing ranges in DC that are publicly open. So you have to go to Virginia and find a instructor that meets the whatever cockamamie requirements they came up with. There were a lot of women who were objecting to this because it meant going to some strange dude's house and they conducted the training in his basement.
Yeah, I can see why women would be opposed to that.
That is my big thing with putting a training requirement on something like this. Is it opens up the possibility for those politicians who really don't like the idea of an armed citizenry to throw hoops in your way that are, at least as far as that are within spitting distance of being constitutional, but are so onerous that it just makes people go, it's not worth my time and effort.
Yeah.
Hey, Snow, roughly
Yeah.
how much would a 24-hour training course cost?
It depends, because it's going to be broken up over multiple days. A 3-day carbine course at a place like Gunsight out in Arizona was $1,500.
Okay, hang on. Clear. All right, so $1,500 plus $200 for let's say 2 magazines.
Well, no, Tally.
Plus
From what you added,
$300
Tally. I did
for
the
the
math
tax.
already. I did the math already.
Oh, okay. All right, so how much would this come to?
So your
Just for a
$300
gun.
your $300 gun minus the course is $1,500 with all the rigmarole. So if you're
Plus
adding
an
another
extra
$1,500 for the course, you're looking at $3,000 for a $300
for a
gun.
$300 gun.
That bill is not what we're talking about today, though.
No. We were talking
Sorry.
about
I
And that's-
sidestepped you.
You're fine.
Tennessee joining the Constitutional Carry Club, which is the other name for permitless carries.
Yeah, and
carry.
like I said, while I do understand like law enforcement issues with this, of like, yeah,
But
no,
there are
any,
plenty
no,
of states that have constitutional carry.
it does. Like I said, from a law enforcement perspective, I understand why they are apprehensive about that. I'm not saying they're right. I'm saying that I can understand why, when it's your job to go up to people and be confrontational, the idea that pretty much anybody in your state can have a gun on them now makes you a little nervous.
But law-abiding citizens, if a police officer approaches them to talk to them,
Law-abiding citizens will be the first ones to do something stupid too, honey.
law-abiding
all it
citizens,
takes is
9
somebody.
times out of 10 will be the ones that say, "Hey, I have a gun
Tally.
on me,"
Tally.
or at least
Tally.
you should.
It's more of a thing, Tally, of Assassin said that it's a myth that gun owners don't train with their firearms, and I could see that, but I could or I thought they aren't not. How did he phrase that? Let me look at it again. He said the notion that most firearm owners do not train is a myth. The growing trend is that many firearm owners are often trained more than the average law enforcement, which fair enough. I can see that. But it's also people who've educated themselves, who have taken the time to.
Most people that own a gun are educated when it comes to guns.
Tally. That's not what she's getting at. Let her finish.
Okay.
Most people, but this is going to bring in new people. This is going to give access to these carry permits stuff to you don't have to have a permit for it to be able to just carry around a gun. Hey, I inherited this rifle from my grandfather. I'm just gonna carry it around with me. I don't know how to use it.
Tally.
Yeah, a rifle,
well, it is
however,
I'm sorry. It is a
gun.
handgun law. It is a handgun law. So let's say he just inherits a pistol from their grandfather. I don't know how to use this thing, but I can carry it around now. Makes me look badass.
It's it's not even that, right? What? And this is maybe interpreted really, really wrong. But what do we keep seeing with a lot of these police-involved shootings that make the news?
Non-compliance.
Non-compliance. People get annoyed with cops. People do really dumb things around cops.
I didn't grab it because it was kind of graphic, but there was an article today about in Nashville, and it's funny that it happened in Nashville. Yet just yesterday, there was an encounter with a police officer. Had pulled this woman over and was sitting there trying to. I don't know exactly what he pulled her over for. I do remember what it was.
It's more police officers are killed
Tally,
in traffic stops than any other.
I'm aware. Let me finish what I'm saying here, Tally. There was a situation in Nashville where a woman was pulled over by a police officer because the person, the register, whoever the register, there was a warrant out for the person who owned the car. Turned out to not be her, but he's like, okay, still, this is really sus, and he starts looking into it. She's on the phone, texting, smoking a cigarette on the video I saw. And he's like, okay, ma'am, turn around and put you in handcuffs, stick you in the back of the car while I figure this out. And she immediately became very apprehensive. She starts screaming, "No, don't put me in handcuffs." She runs around the car trying to get away from him. He's chasing him. Ma'am, come back. You know, trying to, he's like, "I'm going to tase you if you don't stop." And he let her know, like, repeatedly shouting. This, I'm seeing the body cam footage of this. And she jumps back into the car. He tases her while she's sitting in the driver's seat. And I don't know, when it wore off, some point her hand reaches over, and the next thing I hear him shouting is, "Ma'am, put the gun down, put the gun down.
He told
Please
her,
put
he
the gun
warned her.
down." And then shots were exchanged. She shot him, he shot her.
But that was a case of non-compliance. That see, this is why you don't fight cops in the street.
Right, but
If
Tally,
you think you are in the right,
Hold
you
on.
comply and you go to court. Then the body cam
Which
footage will
is
show
fair,
that you were in the right.
But that's logical, Tally. My point
In
is
the
that you're going to take people like that woman and just hand them firearms now to be able
that
to go out
woman
there and do
had
it.
a firearm. That woman already had a firearm.
I'm aware.
Tally, right, but that's
But now
This may
you're
be
giving them
somebody who-
permission to do it. It's a difference between, a lot of people won't do things because the law does not allow them to. They won't carry this gun outside their home because the law does not allow them to. But if you're allowing them to carry this gun out into the world with them, without them having taken any kind of courses to let them know, these are your rights when you're, you know, one thing that Snow and I have talked about in Discord before is that a lot of these gun courses don't cover things like what to do in a police encounter when you have a firearm on you. You need to behave in a certain way and be like, let the officer know, "Hey,
Even
I have a
I, as a
firearm."
Brit,
Tally,
Sorry.
let me finish
I'm gonna
talking.
mute you in a second. Jeez.
Let
You
the
don't have
officer
that power.
let the officer know that you have a firearm on you. There's a certain way you should behave, you know, certain things you should say, and let the officer know when you encounter a police officer while carrying a firearm, whether you have one legally or not. You need to handle that situation a certain way so that you reduce your risk of having an issue happen. The problem is you're now just handing these guns to people without letting them know how this works. You're just saying, "Well, here's a gun. You know, have." And it's not saying that they have a gun, don't already have a gun, because they legally have to be able to own one. But
See,
according to this bill, but you're saying
when
they
it
can
comes
carry
to-
it with them outside and take it and leave it in their car and just have it on them. They don't know how to care
See,
for
when-
it. They don't know how
When
to.
it comes to people that don't know how to interact with police when they have a gun on them, I blame that on the parents, because parents should be teaching their children, if you have a gun
Well, it's not even
and
a
police
parental
officer
issue.
stops you, no, because this is a life lesson that you carry all the way through your life. If you have a gun and you are stopped by the police, you say, "I have a firearm, it's here." And then the police officer will take that gun from you while you are in this encounter. When they are done with you, they should give you your gun back, or you can go collect it from the police station.
Right. But Tally, right? Tally.
Frankie
What-
says, "I liked when you two were playing video games." Well, we'll play video games again. I have more things planned
Yes, we will.
in that way. But
Yes, we will.
Here's the problem, especially recently. If Tennessee decided to do this 10 years ago, would not be a concern.
Mhm.
There is a not insubstantial portion of the population right now that is being programmed by the media, by our politicians, to be terrified of cops.
mhm.
To be
especially
so
especially
to be
African Americans.
yes, they are now hardwired to when they see a cop, they are any rational thought out the window. They are in fight or flight mode.
Even though the
when-
majority of encounters with police officers are completely fine, like nothing ever goes wrong. 9
Most
times out of 10, you're
most
just getting a
enc-
ticket or something.
Well, most people, when they encounter a police officer, it just everyone goes their separate ways afterwards. 9 times out of 10, the police is just making an inquiry.
Yeah. Like most of the time, but the way our news media is, the way that our politicians are talking to the people of the world and telling our people of our country and telling them that a cop is likely to shoot you if you're black. A cop is likely to shoot you if you have a gun. You know, treating the police officers of this country like they are the villain. it sets
Yeah.
it up for a bad encounter to begin with. And so cops are already nervous. So when I say I understand why the TBI is against this, I do. I understand from just a nervous perspective. It's like, this is going to make tensions even higher. Because not only do we have, one side scared, we have cops already scared to interact with these people because they know these people that they're interacting with are scared. So now the cops are going to be even more scared because that person is more likely to have a gun now. And so I get it. But, and so I don't think it's necessarily an end-all be-all answer there.
Thing
But
is, it's not just the media that's teaching people that they should be afraid of the police. It's also certain parents are also saying,
yeah,
if you see
Right.
if a police officer tries to speak to you, don't speak to him. If he tries to interact with you, fight him.
mm-hmm.
It's like you are going to get your kids killed telling them to do shit like that.
Yeah.
And but now, right, in certain states, in what are called shall issue states, where as long as you meet these requirements, whatever they happen to be, right, over a certain age, you don't have any record, you pass whatever background check is required, you say to own a gun in this case because you're getting rid of the permitting requirements, but say like in Pennsylvania, it's a shall issue state. You pay your $25 to the state, they run a quick background check on you, and as long as you pass the background check and meet all the other requirements, they have to give you the permit. In states like that, there is an assumption that is programmed into cops when they go through their training in these states. It's a shall issue state. So at some point, you're going to interact with somebody who has a gun on them.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, some cops are going to take that information, file it away in the back of their mind, and go, okay, I'm gonna just, I'm gonna behave in a certain way, so whatever interaction I have with somebody is not going to escalate. There are other cops who are going to be on edge, having received that information.
Yeah.
Now you go to constitutional carry, where all barriers, short of the 4473 you fill out when you buy the dang gun in the first place, have been removed. The cops that are used to dealing with this are going to take it in stride. Okay, fine. It's okay. It's more likelihood. That's fine. It doesn't really affect me. The scaredy cats that are on the force, the cops that are already wired to be very afraid of an encounter, being already very cautious in an encounter, are going to be even more so now, because now they're, instead of having in the back of their mind that there could be a firearm, they're going to assume that there is.
Mm-hmm. Assassin said there are concealed carry training courses to clarify the local laws and how to interact with law enforcement. But that's what I'm saying, is that if you're taking away the requirements to go to those kind of courses, to even just take a 3-hour class, to take 3 hours out of your day and say, here's how you handle this firearm. Oh, and by the way, here's a piece of paper that tells you frame by frame how to interact with a police officer when you're, just basic shit.
There are videos on, I think they're still on YouTube, from Masad Ayub, and if you are been involved with the gun community for a while, this guy is basically royalty. He is a former cop. He's now retired. I don't even know if he's still alive. This is a video I saw was many, many years old. I started watching his shit when I started carrying. And he goes through a scenario exactly how, both for the cop and for, say, the driver, if you get pulled, you get a traffic stop when you're carrying, exactly how you should go through this procedure so that everybody leaves happy. You may be slightly annoyed because now you're late getting to wherever you were, but nobody dies.
Better be late than dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Better to be late than never to arrive at all.
Yes. So,
unless you're like me, in which case you get fired, you might as well be dead. Kidding. It was a joke. Nobody panic.
Must slap you.
Promises. Anyway, I think we've had enough of that one. We're actually almost to our call-in segment time. So if you guys wouldn't mind, and if you're interested in joining the call-in segment, you have comments or questions or concerns, I will drop the link here in the chat to our Discord. You have to hop in there, hop into the green room right below where you'll see us in the streaming thing. Make sure you accept the bad Eve. I didn't do nothing wrong. You have to accept our rules and agreements to be in the server and stuff. But come on over to the Discord, hang out with us. We Tally and I are going to try and spend more time in there at some point, but you know, we always hang out after the show at least. So,
someone who knows more about guns than me and Eve should join. Like Assassin,
well,
he
I mean,
knows, like,
Snow knows
military
quite a bit.
knows-
That's why I brought Snow on and
Why-
why I had this article. You know, Snow knows
Am I-
quite a bit about guns.
am I-
That's why I brought him on.
Have I not been here for the last 2 hours, Tally?
Well, yeah, sorry.
But I do have one more thing. I'm going to send this last piece to Tally. I'm going to skip the other article, Snow, and go straight to the last thing. I'm going to share this video with y'all. This is a little crazy. Just I wanted to end on kind of a high note. So this woman is... I'll just let you watch.
Bees have been living in this backyard shed for at least 2 years. The landlord wanted to call an exterminator, but the family who lived here wanted to save the bees, so they called me. When I lifted up the floor, I found a huge hive full of gentle bees. The hive was so big I had to remove another.
Oh, I should have clarified, Miss Kefka. You should probably not be watching right now. I'm sorry. She doesn't like bugs.
Oh no.
But this woman just
the bee thing?
Yeah, the bee thing.
To the new one so the bees would have everything they need to survive.
Tally's
After I
face
removed
right
all of the
now.
comb, I started scooping bees into the new hive. As soon as I put
Yeah,
bees
I would
in,
look at this,
the bees
Kefki,
were
until we're
gone.
done.
Then a stream of bees began running out from under the floor into the new hive.
It's actually
So I
really
waited
clever
and
how she
watched to
does
see
it.
if I could spot
She
the
waited
queen
to see if she
in
could
the
spot the
crowd.
queen. She
After
captures the
about
queen,
15
puts the
minutes,
queen
she
in the new
left.
hive.
So I put her in a crate
And
to keep her
when the
safe.
queen in the new
Once
hive,
the
all the
queen
other
was
bees
in the
go,
new
"Oh
hive,
shit, we're
sometimes
not
the
in the
bees
right
on
place,"
the
and they
same
run
step
to
and
the
other
new
bees find
hive.
their way home.
Which so it's really clever how she's able to remove them without actually exterminating them. The part that just wowed me was that she does all of it without any kind of protective gear.
Well, no,
And
that's because she smoked them first.
that made my
No.
skin crawl.
When you smoke bees, you get them high as fuck, and they become
Nice,
very,
thank you.
very
Not watching. I'm sorry, Kefki. I should have warned you before I started the video. But actually, I'm gonna take it off the screen so you can look back here in a second. But so y'all saw the video.
Wait. Bees are adorable though.
Bees-
They are sweet little things.
Bees can be adorable. I just know Miss Kefki has a problem with bugs in general, and so I didn't want to freak her out. But I was flabbergasted by watching this woman do all of this without any kind of protective gear. There was no suit, no netting, no nothing. And like you said, partly because she smoked it, but she's also, if she's a professional at this, she's probably also built up an immunity to bee stings.
Well,
so
You know, she's moving very slowly.
mhm.
She's not.
She's
twitching
presenting
or-
herself as if she's not a threat to them.
That was
Correct.
something somebody said in the comments when they were talking about if you smoke the bees, they'll believe there's a fire and start to soak up as much honey as they can to save their bodies. This makes them so thick they can't curl and sting. What somebody actually commented that, you know, they're very sensitive to your emotional state. If you're panicked and freaking out, they're gonna freak out. So if you stay calm and relaxed, the bees are less likely to feel agitated. They're less likely to feel threatened in any kind of way. But I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty interesting. Just to see, you know, not only was it a kind of a nice thing because they were wanting to just come in and exterminate the bees, but everybody knows the bees are all dying off. So I'm not sure how true that actually is, but I do know that this actually worked out better. You know, that she was able to take them and transport them to some place where they're better. You know.
Last year, in
Hive
the
collapse is a big problem.
Mhm.
Mhm. Before the lockdowns during the summer, there was I went to a barbecue at a neighbor's house, and they had bees in their attic, and they were actually honey bees. And I went into the house to use their bathroom, and because the only toilet in that house was up, like on the second floor, like the hive was directly above this toilet. So I was peeing and I could hear them buzzing around above me. Like they weren't doing any harm, but they just didn't want honey leaking through their house.
Mm.
So they had to get someone in to do basically what that woman did.
What most companies will do these days is they'll basically just come in and vacuum up the bees
Mm-hmm.
and then package up the hive, whatever it was, or especially if there are queen cells around, and they'll just relocate it. They
Mhm.
make sure they get the queen. They vacuum everybody up into a big container, big, like
Big
30
plastic
gallon.
container that's like
Yep.
this big.
Yep. Cart them someplace else and let them go. They relocate. They don't exterminate now.
Bearing in mind,
Because
this vacuuming, it doesn't hurt the bees.
nope, it's very low velocity, but bees are actually not really good flyers.
No, they're really not.
They're not particularly strong flyers. So a strong enough breeze, they really can't do anything about it. They're not as bad as mosquitoes. Anything over 2 miles an hour, a mosquito cannot fly.
Well, you think about how powerful your vacuum cleaner is.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that people use, like surgeons use for liposuction, has a fifth of the power of a vacuum cleaner. The thing that they will use to vacuum up bees will have something like a third of the power of the thing that they use for liposuction.
Just to
Very
make sure,
low power.
anybody who wants to do the call-in segment had any questions, comments, concerns about the stream, can pop into the green room on our server.
Yes,
Come on
please
over.
do.
I don't see anybody in there at the moment. At least I just checked.
No, they're
Oh, fuck. Sorry. Hang on. I'll fix it. I hit the wrong button. Hang on.
Are we still live?
Yeah,
you're still
we
live.
are. Hang on. Hang on. I'm gonna put up the blank screen for a second, kids. Hang on. All right,
It's okay,
and
Eve.
we're back. I'm sorry. I apologize. Eve was punching the wrong buttons. So,
E-
all the wrong buttons.
Eve pressed the wrong thing. Stand by for technical difficulties. But yes, we've now let anyone join for the last couple of minutes of the stream.
Yeah, I
Please
went to
join
tab
us.
over and I clicked
Tell us your thoughts.
the thing down here, and I was trying to click the side of the window and actually hit the disconnect button. They added little things across the bottom if you're in a voice chat, like the little quick buttons in your hotbar there. You can there's a camera, mic, deafen, as well as a disconnect button if you're in a voice call, which is really nice. It's really convenient. You don't have to actually go back and select the window and you just click the little thing on there. But
It is very convenient. It's all
it messed me
there.
up. So, but yeah, if you had any comments, especially I know a lot of people had very pointed thoughts on the gun thing. We'd be more than happy to hear you out on them if you want to pop in and talk about it.
Yes.
Annie is now watching the stream.
Hi, Annie.
But everyone is welcome at the end of the show, so join us.
Just behave yourselves.
We won't bite unless you want us to.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, that was it was shiny. She had to, said Kevki. We understand. I was puzzled by the gun thingy. So basically it means, to explain what it actually means, for Tennesseans, it would basically mean if you have the legal right to own a gun, if you're not a felon, if you're if you're over the age of 21, things like that. If you meet the normal requirements to own a gun, you do not have to have a separate permit to carry a gun. To carry it out with it. Yeah. Normally, when it comes to owning a gun, you could without a permit. You could own it and you keep it at your house, keep it for self-defense or whatever, or usually you're able to like put it in your trunk to transport it to like a range or whatever, or to a gun show. I think is that one of the stipulations? I think it's one of the. I don't know. I'm asking more towards
Provided
now.
it's in one of those travel
okay.
gun cases, yeah.
So okay, what was the question again? Because I was looking something up to contribute to this. So constitutional carry, which is what the other thing for permitless carry is exactly what Eve said. If you are legally permitted to buy a gun in the first place, so you still go to a dealer, do pick whichever one you want, do the 4473, do the whatever state background check may or may not be required, like in Pennsylvania for a handgun. You do the federal check, you do the state check, which is just a domestic violence check, and then you pass and you're good to go. That's enough in states with permitless carry. So Vermont was the first one to do it. Alaska followed very quickly. Arizona, Mississippi, now Tennessee, and there's like 14 other states that have it. That is enough as far as the state is concerned to say you can carry that firearm without any additional information or any additional permitting or classes or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Bearing in mind that constitutional carry and concealed carry are very different things. Because
no, they're
although you wouldn't a lot of states that have constitutional carry, you can open carry a gun. You just can't conceal carry a gun.
No, that's not true.
Okay, hold on a second. Hi.
Wait.
Hi, Miss
so
Jackie.
if you owns the gun with the
Yep.
laws we have now, you owns the gun, you cannot carry the gun outside with you. How are you supposed to defend yourself if you don't have the gun? What's the point of owning the gun?
It depends.
Well, the whole point of owning the gun was, I think, before the permit was to protect yourself in your home.
Yes. So in your house, you're fine. To carry outside of your house, there's two possibilities. Because again, we're talking about handguns now, not long guns. Because if you figure out how to conceal a 30-inch rifle, you let me know.
I'm working on it. Don't worry, Papa Wolf.
Okay, but
without modifying it so it's an illegal sawn-off rifle.
Yeah, we're not going to talk NFA thing here. Don't Tally, don't confuse her. So, say in my state of Pennsylvania, I can open carry a handgun without a permit anywhere in the state except Philadelphia.
Huh.
I can strap my Walther on outside of my belt. Now the trick is I cannot, under any circumstances, get into a vehicle like that because that instantly requires a permit to carry. Mm-hmm. I cannot, under any circumstances, have my shirt or something cover that gun. So say I'm open carrying and my backpack falls to the side and covers it. I have now concealed that firearm and I can get into all kinds of trouble. To carry concealed, I need a permit from the state, which they are required to give me if I meet their requirements, which are identical to buying the gun in the first place. It's just an extra step they put in the way. I get the permit. I can now carry a firearm on my person anywhere I am legally allowed to do so, which means don't go into federal buildings, don't go into courthouses, don't go into schools, normal places like that. I can carry it in a vehicle. And if for whatever reason I happen to be walking outside and my shirt blows open, because I usually have like a cover shirt over it, and it's revealed, I'm fine. There's no brandishing in Pennsylvania. Other states there are. It has to be completely concealed unless you have to use it. What permitless carry or constitutional carry, they mean the same thing. What that means is you can legally own the gun, you can legally carry the gun, concealed or open, without going through additional steps.
I was talking to
See, that makes more sense to me. Yeah.
So I was last year I was talking to Magog, and in his state of Arkansas, if you've got a concealed carry license, they don't bother doing the license in Arkansas is a photo ID.
Same here.
To say that you can legally carry a concealed weapon. if he went into a gun shop and he presented that license, they don't even
Mhm.
have to bother running a background check because he's got that.
Some states do that, some states do not. Federally, he still has to.
Well, federally, he's already gone through the background check because he's got the ID to show that he's gone through the background check and he
Not
is gone
necessarily.
through the
Not,
extra
necess-
step of getting the concealed carry.
not necessarily. That may not be a NICS check. In Pennsylvania, it's not a NICS check. It's not required to be a NICS check. They use NICS, but they don't have to. So certain states, I know Florida's another one, that concealed carry permit bypasses the background check, and they have some system in place or some agreement where they can do that. But that's not what this would do in Tennessee.
Oh no, I was just talking about the concealed carry license
Yes.
in Arkansas.
Yeah, so like in Pennsylvania, my carry permit doesn't let me do that. Kind of nice I did.
Oh, sorry. With the new law that they're trying to pass in Tennessee, that will mean that you don't have to get all those permits, right?
Correct.
You
You
just
still have to go through the process to buy the gun in the first place.
You
Right.
still have to be over the age of 21 to own a handgun. You still
Yep.
have to not
sound
be a
of
felon. You
minds
still have to go
and
through the.
everything. Yeah.
You still have to go through the background check.
Ah.
You just don't need to get a license to carry it to the
Yeah,
store.
that's what I keep telling these hoes, is that if you make this whole thing of, oh, nobody with a mental illness can own a firearm, well, there goes my ability.
Yeah,
That-
I can't
people with
either.
mental
Don't feel
illness-
bad, Evie.
People with mental illnesses are less likely to commit a violent crime and more likely to be the victim of a violent crime. So saying that someone with any kind of mental illness cannot own a firearm is basically ensuring that more people will become victims.
Well, I was thinking they're more likely to turn the weapon on themselves, but
Well,
yeah.
so that's
because mental illness doesn't necessarily mean someone is suicidal.
Right, which is why that is a separate line item, and mental illness currently doesn't appear on a 4473, but involuntarily.
God.
But if you have been involuntarily committed, if you have been adjudicated
We
mentally
call it
deficient,
sanctioned here in the UK. We call
right,
that sanctioning.
right.
If you
So-
are sent to a mental institution without because you have been deemed too mentally unstable to be within and you need intense therapy, we call that sanctioning.
So same concept. If you have been placed on a 72-hour hold because you tried to kill yourself, that's going to show up. You are prohibited from owning a firearm. If you've been adjudicated mentally deficient in a court of law, right? You plead not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect, and the judge accepts it, prohibited from owning a firearm. If you have been involuntarily committed because you insert wild thing that could happen with like
Question
schizophrenia or something like that here.
What if you recognize that your mental illness is you're mentally suffering and you commit yourself?
Voluntary commission is fine. It's the involuntary commission that is the problem.
What if you were committed when you were a child, though, and you've grown up and you're better now?
That I do not know the answer to. That I do not know. It is worth it's worth talking to a lawyer about. Because the lawyer would, if they don't know, they would know who to ask and where to ask about that question. Because I know a lot of records do get scrubbed when you turn 18 or 21.
Kefki just wants to get herself a cute little derringer that she can slip into her garter belt.
Yes.
And
he knows me so well.
You can't
right
tell
alongside the dozens of knives on that same garter belt.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, I have seen some pretty awesome knives that I would tell you wear on a little garter belt.
And Tally's all jelly because she can't have them in the UK anymore.
Actually, I am allowed
I get
guns.
to carry them,
I'm not allowed a gun. I'm allowed a knife. Provided that knife is longer than 3 inches and it's either a fixed blade or it's a
manual folder.
Yeah. Provided it's one of those and it's not like a punch blade or a butterfly knife, I can own a blade.
So this wouldn't work for you, Tally?
No, I wouldn't be allowed that because you can open it with one hand.
Pretty.
I can open it with one hand because I know how to flick it, but technically it's not.
But that spring, that That spring,
That spring main.
that assisted opening, that's a problem.
Yeah.
The little
If
Kershaw
it's if it's
that I
assisted opening, I can't have it in the UK.
now
Well, I can have it, but I can't take it outside.
yeah.
If
Now
we're going on to knife laws, if I can interject, if we're going to knife laws, I believe Tennessee allows you to carry any kind of knife on you. It doesn't matter what kind it is.
You
It
can
doesn't
carry
matter how
swords
big.
again now.
Yes.
now we just need to do what Canada did and bring back dueling, and a lot of these problems will go away.
I second that. I am
And-
all for that.
And on that note, kids, we're over our hour and a half mark, so I'm going to go ahead and call it there. I would like to say thank you so much. Oh, I forgot to say earlier that Permalez Carey article came from Lion Patriot over in my Discord. He was sharing it in the debate
you,
discussion.
Lion.
Yeah. So thank you again, Lion, for that article. Thank you, Travis, for the other article about my brain stopped. About the Texas school chivalry situation. And I want to say thank you to our wonderful guest, Mr. Snow, for being on with us
And
today.
thank you, Kefki, for joining us.
And
to
thank you,
share
Kefki,
your
for
thoughts.
joining us.
Aw, thank you.
And thank you to my lovely, lovely co-host, Miss Delita Constantine.
No, thank you. Because
And-
I couldn't do this without you, because your computer does all the heavy.
And I want to say, most importantly, thank you to all of you in chat for showing up to hang out with us and watch the show. We wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you so much
It's
for coming in
true.
and
We
chatting
love
and
you so
participating.
much.
Oh yes, good. Thank you, Rick, for reminding me. The reminder that there will not be an S&M next week. I will be out of town. So I know I told you about this, Tally, didn't I?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
But
I'm
to be
retarded
fair,
and didn't
we
even
have-
tell Tally,
But
so.
to be fair, we haven't really
No,
spoken much this week because of this.
Well, there's also,
Hang
you
on.
almost forgot the finger boot.
Finger boop. Finger boop. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, guys.
Bearing in mind, I haven't done. I'm going to show you the mess that
Oh,
I've
good
been going
God.
through. Like the mess that I've been going through since moving.
Doxed.
A little bit.
And she's got this nice
It's
big
inside
open
my-
room now, kids. So.
Like, you know
That's-
what?
that's real.
You can't see any landmarks. It's dark outside. All the blinds are closed.
Wow.
She has
That's
no excuse for sitting on her bed anymore. So.
Nope.
It's true. Now I've got a nice armchair.
Anyways, folks, that's gonna do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like our channel, share it with your friends. And thank you for the donation that we got earlier in the stream. And I don't think there's
Yes,
anything
thank
else.
you.
Will be no S&M next week. And I'm only gonna have 2 streams left before I go dark for a while, and then I'll be back eventually on my Twitch channel as well. So, love you all. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and bye.
Laters.
Lay back, relax, enjoy it all. Saturday night, it's time to say no more. S&M with Tally and KRC. Come pleasure or pain, welcome to the stream.